just kind of backtrack to really the press conference from the game, and just talk about first what an honor it was for us to get to play for Children's Harbor. And it's 2 years in a row. I think we've started a really great tradition here, and getting to recognize the patients and the former patients with the names on the back, and just really a special thing that's going on there. And we look to continue doing that. So our players have embraced it. I think our community, our fans. Homecoming, we had a great crowd. Just a lot of energy there in the pregame walk, and just knew it was going to be a special night. So just those things that kind of went into the game were just really special and exciting. And then, what a game. We knew North Texas was really good, especially offense when you average close to 40 points a game. So, probably did not start out the way we wanted to defensively, obviously. I learned quickly that man freeze is not a really good call against those receivers and that quarterback, and we had to make some adjustments at half. Same thing offensively. We had some opportunities, had some 3-and-outs that wasn't great, but still did some good things. Went in there and made some halftime adjustments, and just so proud of the way we came out and played the second half. Defensively, had the big fourth down stop early. Going into drive, had a fumble, get the safety, come back down and score, and really, offensively really clicked second half. Special teams was really good all night. Proud of each of those units, and defensively played really, really well in the second half, and held on to win a huge game for our program. Moving forward with El Paso, Coach Dimmel, who has been in the biggest games in the biggest leagues, is a great coach, and really, I know this sounds like coach talk, but I mean their last two games when I got to see them against North Texas, they led throughout a lot of that game, and really it was down to the wire. And then La Tech, they're inside the 10 at the end of the game with a chance to tie it up or even maybe go for two and win it. So they're believing in what he's doing. There's not a lot separating any of us in this league, so we're going to have to be ready. I think after our game I saw that in our players. They were excited, but as we say, it's another championship game for us. So we should have a great week of practice and plan on playing against a good football team who is improving. I know they're going through some injuries right now, but they're improving, and I call them a good football team because that's what I've seen out in the last 2 weeks. So, and I know they're hungry for a win. Questions?
Go ahead and get this out of the way. Lee went out in the early Saturday. What's his official status, and how would you assess Greg's play once he came in?
Yeah, so Lee had his arm posted on one of the defenders and got rammed into and ended up breaking his arm. He's already went through surgery yesterday. Everything came out well, and feel like we got a chance to get him back at the end of the year. So everything's positive. He heals like we think he will. So I think he was over on the sideline helping Coach Greg, from the game. But everything's good on him. I don't usually talk about injuries, but I think that's one that was worth talking about. One, he came through the surgery good. He's in good shape, and we'll get him back. Greg ended up being the offensive player of the week for performance. And that's what you want, guys that have practiced and practiced and practiced to come in, no bad snaps, and really perform well against a good nose guard. They had multiple noses that they worked in and out. So we ended up recognizing him as a player of the week just to be ready and come in, step in like he did, and our offense just keep clicking, which goes back to, preparation, how we practice, and, what kind of individual he is. And, he's another great story, a guy, from Clay Chalkville, who walked on with a chance to earn, knowing that he had a chance to earn a scholarship, gets put on full scholarship. So just another one of those really good stories of a guy that's, kind of waited his turn, and there he was waiting when we needed him.
And I guess to parlay on that a little bit, how do you think Lee's experience, he's been here since 2014, is going to help that transition, especially with AJ, starting to take snaps from Greg, and just, you said he was coaching there on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just almost an invaluable asset having Lee been here?
Correct. Yeah, I think having Lee and what kind of person he is, how intelligent he is, and he's going to be there sitting there helping Greg. We told him he's going to be coach to 4 for the next 4 to 5 weeks, whatever it is that he's out. So helping Greg and making him better.
So you talked about this story a lot, coming this program, coming back from the dead, but Saturday it just went up.
Yeah.
Several more levels. Have you ever been associated with anything as amazing as this?
No. The turnaround at Prattville was something, building the program at South, getting to go in Jack State Mama Vonder, following Coach Crow. I mean, there was a lot of great things, but I mean, You know, it seems like, you know, Ted and I talk about it all the time. We're making history every day, and you know, it's hard to be much more special than what we had Saturday. I mean, when you throw in the Children's Harbor, a great opponent, homecoming, you know, school history, breaking all these records and fighting for first place. You know, and then when you really get to do it, you know, it was, you know, just really kind of lost for words really after that game. But then you've got to bring yourself back to reality and say, you know, our goal has been a championship this whole year. And, you know, that's that fine line we all walk of, you know, how do you talk about championships and then not be let down if something doesn't happen? You know, and I told our guys before the game, I said, look, you know, this is not our season, but we're going to let it all hang on the line. And I don't know how to get anything great without expecting it and working for it and believing in it. So what I really liked, we sat out there and we hung out with our fans for probably 15, 20 minutes outside and enjoyed, you know, tried to soak it in because, you know, I knew I was going to wake up Sunday having to think about El Paso. But what was cool was we celebrated, but in the locker room they were serious. And I think they know we've got a lot of football ahead of us, a lot of work. You know, I would just caution our fans to be careful about going ahead and penciling us in the championship game. But it's good to hope and to dream and to have expectations. But we've got a lot of football left to play, and I think that's when you set kids up for problems. Is when you go ahead and do those kind of things and put too much pressure on them. You know, so we just want to keep playing and literally play them one at a time. Focus on this one. Like I said, they are playing really good football right now. You know, they've got a great coach. They believe in what he's doing, and you see it. I mean, you talk to anybody, they're playing with a lot of confidence. You see it against two teams that we had to fight for our lives against to find a way to win. So, but Saturday, which is what we're talking about, was unbelievable. Really was.
So, speaking about UTEP, they come in without any wins, but like you said, they've been playing well. The first 3 games they had some trouble, but the last 4 games they've lost, I think, an average of 6.5 points.
Right.
2 of them were touchdown games. Last week against Louisiana Tech, so was one of them was a field goal. So, what have you seen from them? You know, that might be able to give y'all some problems that y'all might need to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, it just offensively, they are, you know, a zone read, multiple, you know, throw the ball, run. I mean, you know, in zone reads, like any option is an equalizer. And you've got a coach who has, you know, the things they did at K-State were amazing, you know. And so I probably, a guy that's kind of used to taking less and doing more with it, you know, when you're compared to the Oklahomas and Texases of the world, when you're at K-State, you've got to take what you've got and beat them. And I think that's the kind of coach he is. Defensively, they're very multiple. I mean, they gave North Texas fits. And so that right there gives me respect for them, you know, that they know what they're doing. You're going to see them in a 3-man front, a 4-man front, and then saw it in the kicking game. So, you know, when you start talking about desperate to win, I mean, that's where they are, you know, at home, and they're playing good. I mean, you know, and he says it, they're playing with confidence. So that's how we're going to treat them. I see that out of our players. I hope we keep seeing it. And that's going to be the question for us, you know. Can we keep doing what we're doing? You know, I've said now we're at 3 weeks of great practices, you know, where I can say every day I thought we had great practices. Can we keep doing that will be the question.
UTEP's on a 19-game losing streak, so you guys have never, you know, the players, the program's never experienced
Right.
6-1. What do you tell your team, I guess, to keep them humble? And what's their mindset like kind of going into, because obviously the goal is to win a championship, but when you've never experienced it before, just kind of talk about what you tell your team. And
Yeah, right. Yeah, they hadn't, but I have, you know, and I don't mean that arrogantly, but I think that's one of those things I've told them all year. If you would just listen to what we're telling you, that, you know, we know what we're doing. We have been here before. And it is just what we say. It is, we have a routine. You know, we don't change the routine. You know, literally the whole 24-hour deal is really who we are. And that was kind of why I was laughing about the Saturday night. I knew how I was going to be at 5 a.m. on Sunday. It's El Paso, you know. And I told them this morning, you know, we do good, bad, ugly every Monday morning, and it's the same routine. They're here. They watch the film. We look at the bad first, and there was bad. And, you know, and I said it's okay to enjoy this, you know, but staying humble is the key to everything we do, you know. And I mean, you know, I always say that's my dad was a coach, so that's what I was brought up with. But if we can stay humble, keep our heads screwed on, you know, we got a chance to do everything we want to do. But that's what we've worked for. So I think we'll see that. I'm planning on seeing it. And that's what I saw out of them this morning. I saw out of the game. So, you know, the tail of practice will tell us a lot.
Does it kind of help you that, you know, the players have had some bad experiences?
Yep.
Not taking teams seriously, like the Charlotte, like the Coastal
Correct.
Carolina. Does that help you that you don't have to coach them up so much?
You know, somebody stopped me after the Rice game, a friend of mine whose son plays on the team, and he said, you know, you could be undefeated. He said, but I asked my son that, and he said, Dad, we wouldn't be where we are if that hadn't happened to us. And I think there's, once again, that's that line you walk of confidence and arrogance. And, you know, I think when we went to Coastal, you know, they sat around, they watched them play South Carolina on a Saturday and got to believe in that. And it's game to game, it's home games. Of course, granted, 15 penalties in a game. I don't know who will win that game, you know, but still, it brought us to reality. And that's all I got to say, Coastal. You know, that's all. I mean, I've said it. I know they're sick of hearing that. And then they're going to hear Charlotte. You know, and Charlotte was the same team last year. They were getting beat, touchdown. You know, and it's all those things. And I think if we prepare like I know we will, I know the coaches are going to work just as hard, players are going to work as hard. But those are those things, and you hate to use negatives as a reminder, but they work, and it has happened to us. So, yeah, I think that keeps us grounded for sure.
Something that might not be thought about, but how do you get the players to adjust? Because you're going to be in mountain time, just right across
Yep.
that, as well as, you know, you've got the distraction of kind of the scenery around the Sun Bowl, because there's a lot more over there, mountains, and you know, very much unlike anything they've probably played in.
One of the things we do, and I won't give all our secrets away, but I think how we travel is very important. You know, my ops guy goes everywhere before we go. You know, and I think the way we get there, you know, we see the stadium and all these things the day before the game. You know, and I mean, I learned that the hard way in high school back to the first time we played in the state championship, and we had never been in Legion Field. And, you know, we couldn't afford to stay the night before, so we came up on game day, and we're looking at the stadium, and I said, that will never happen to me again if I have to go out and sell cookie dough. I mean, you know, we found a way the next time to get there the night before and get that all. And that's the same thing for us. Take your pictures, see the stadium, get all that done the day before, and then we want the same routine. So really that's 6:30 our time. Well, we just played at 6:30. We'll play next week at 6:30 and the next. So I'm a routine guy. You know, how we do our walkthroughs, how we do everything, and I think that's how you breed consistency.
Well, since being in my football career, I've always come up short in them situations, so actually winning it was big for me, but also humbled me just because all those past situations. We're in high school, every time we get knocked out first round of playoffs. During college, we'd come up short to go into the playoffs, so actually getting that big win was kind of humbling for me.
What's the mindset of this team, you know, moving forward? You guys have, I mean, 6-1, first time in program history. So what's your mindset moving forward, especially going against a team that's on a 19-game losing streak?
Well, to address the team that we're playing, we treat every team the same. We prepare for them in practice. We treat them all like they're number one in the country. We prepare for the worst situations possible, and we just keep working to see like what can happen, what if this, what if that. So hopefully, you know, we go into the game, we can play our best, and hopefully nobody on the team thinks that we can just slouch off on them. Because as we remind ourselves also what happened last year when we went to we went to Charlotte, and this year when we went to Coastal, how we slept on them. So that's just how it is for that situation.
Can you talk about the way this defense is playing and just the confidence you guys are playing with, and how much fun it is to fly around and play what you're doing?
Well, it's fun. Like I said, we are playing with a lot of confidence. It wasn't easy how we got to this point. You know, it was a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing during camp. You know, it's questioning one another, but with good teams, that comes during the off season. So I'm just glad that we went through it then, and we're not going through it now throughout the season. So pretty much like all the pieces are coming together now.
It was huge. I mean, I've never won or even been close to winning a championship. So knowing that like we actually have a chance to do that this year, that was huge. You know, going out there fighting with your brothers, you know, that made it sweet. So getting that huge victory, it was definitely huge in my career.
Now you had that fumble on the goal line,
Right.
but you know Garrett was able to swing momentum on that next
Right.
play. But you come back later with that big long run near
Right.
the
Yes, sir.
Go up ahead, even further. So, what was it like, being able to get that kind of moment to, come back and make a
Right.
big play for the team?
Man, it was pretty much all my teammates. After I fumbled, all my teammates came up to me and they were like, "Man, it's short-term memory. Keep going, keep going. We're gonna need you to win the game." And so when I saw them come up to me after I made a mistake like that, knowing that they were still behind me, I knew I had to step up and still make a play. So I forgot about that. Then came out and made that run. The offensive line blocked it up perfect. I just hit the hole. So that was huge. Yes, sir.
What would you say you learned from Spencer Brown?
Spencer, man, he's tough. He's tough as nails. We feed off each other. Me and him, we both have different playing styles. He's more of a powerful runner. I use my speed more. But Spencer, he has great vision. I feed off of that, and I think I have pretty good vision too. So we just help each other. We go hand in hand and just push each other in practice. So we just push each other harder and harder every day.
You just talked about the championship and being in position for the championship.
Right.
But how important is it not to let your mind just wander too far down the road?
Right. Yes, sir. Our main focus is we focus on every week. Every week is a championship game week for us. So every week in practice, Coach Clark wants us to practice like it's a championship or it's a bowl game. So we approach every practice like that. We work hard, and we give every opponent the same amount of respect. No one's any better or any less than anyone else. So that's how we approach every week.